Welcome back. The AI landscape is shifting faster than most can comprehend. We are no longer just building software. We are building intelligence factories. In a highly revealing conversation, Nvidia CEO Jensen Huang laid out the exact roadmap for the future of artificial intelligence. It is not just about faster chips. It is about a fundamental restructuring of how humanity interacts with computers. Before we break down the critical implications for your career and the tech market, listen carefully to how Huang defines the death of traditional computing.
This is the end of AI. And of course, that's obviously not true. We're going to keep on scaling the amount of data that we have to train with. A lot of that data is probably going to be synthetic. And that also confused people, and what people don't realize is that they've kind of forgotten that most of the data that we are training, that we teach each other with, inform each other with, is synthetic. It's synthetic because it didn't come out of nature. You created it, I'm consuming it, I modify it, augment it, I regenerate it, somebody else consumes it. And so we've now reached a level where AI is able to take ground truth, augment it, enhance it, synthetically generate an enormous amount of data. And that part of post-training continues to scale. And so the amount of data that we could use that is human-generated will be smaller and smaller and smaller. The amount of data that we use to train model is going to continue to scale to the point where we're no longer limited. Training is no longer limited by data, is now limited by compute. And the reason for that is most of the data is synthetic. Then the next phase is test time. And I still remember people telling me that inference, oh yeah, that's easy. Pre-training, that's hard. These are giant systems that people are talking about. Inference must be easy. And so inference chips are going to be little tiny chips, and they're not like Nvidia's chips. Oh, those are going to be complicated and expensive, and we could make, and this is and in the future inference is going to be the biggest market, and it's going to be easy, and we're going to commoditize it, and everybody can build their own chips, and that was always illogical to me, because inference is thinking, and I think thinking is hard. Thinking is way harder than reading. Pre-training is just memorization and generalization, and looking for patterns and relationships. You're reading versus thinking, reasoning, solving problems, taking unexplored experiences, new experiences, and breaking it down into decomposing it into, solvable pieces that we then go off.
What you just heard is the foundation of the new economy. We have transitioned from retrieving pre-recorded data to generating context in real time. But the raw computing power is only the engine. The actual vehicle that will drive this forward is the AI agent. Huang refers to this exact shift as the iPhone of tokens. It is the point where AI stops being a simple chatbot and becomes an autonomous digital worker. Let's look at how these agents are about to transform the execution of complex tasks.
That, oh yeah, if they could just take 10% share, they could be this much larger. But it's hard for people to imagine how large we could be because there's nobody I could take share from, And so I think that's one of the challenges for the world is the imagination of the future. But I got plenty of time, and I'll keep reasoning about it, and I'll keep talking about it, and every single GTC will become more and more real, and then more and more people will talk about it. And one of these days, we'll get there. But I'm 100% we'll get there.
Yeah, this view of token factories, essentially, this token per second per watt, and every token having value. Like, it's an actual thing that brings value, and it brings different kinds of value, different amounts of value to different people, but it's value. That's the actual product. It's really could be loosely thought of as the token. And so you have a bunch of token factors, and then it's very easy, from first principles, to imagine a future, given all the potential things that AI can solve, that you're going to need an exponential number more of token factories.
Yeah. And what's really interesting, the reason why I was so excited about it, the iPhone of tokens arrived.
What do you call it? Wait, are you saying OpenClaw's iPhone?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Agents.
Yeah, agents. True.
Agents in general. The iPhone of tokens arrived. It is the fastest growing application in history. It went straight up.
Yeah.
Went straight up.
That says something.
Yup. There's no question OpenClaw is the iPhone of tokens.
Yeah, there's something truly, as you know, something truly special happening from about December, where people really woke up to the power of Claude Code, of Codex, of OpenClaw. I mean, I've embarrassed to admit that on the way here in the airport, this is the first time I've done this in public. I was programming, quote unquote, by talking to my laptop.
Exactly.
And I was embarrassed because I was pretending like I'm talking to a human colleague. I'm not sure how I feel about the future where everybody is walking around talking to their AI, but it's such an efficient way to get stuff done.
And it's more likely that your AI is bothering you all the time. And the reason for that is because it's getting stuff done so fast.
Yeah.
It's reporting back to you, I got that done. You know, what do you want me to do next? You know, that's the part that I think most people don't realize is the person who's going to be chatting with them, texting them most is their...
This level of autonomy naturally triggers anxiety regarding job security. If an agent can execute tasks autonomously, what happens to the human workforce? The answer lies in separating the specific task from the broader purpose of a job. Technical skills, such as writing raw syntax, are being commoditized. However, the ability to specify problems and design architectural solutions is becoming infinitely more valuable. Here is Huang's precise logic on why the number of programmers will actually increase rather than decrease in the age of AI.
Well, let's even take coding. You think the number of programmers in the world might increase, not decrease?
Yes. And the reason for that is this. What is the definition of coding? I believe that the definition of coding as of today is simply specification, and maybe if you want to be rather directive, you could even give it an architecture of the software that you wanted to write. So the question is, how many people could do that? Describe a specification for a computer to go, telling the computer what to go build. How many people? I think we just went from 30 million to probably 1 billion. And so every carpenter in the future will be a coder, except a carpenter with AI is also an architect. They just increased the value that they could deliver to the customer. Their artistry just elevated tremendously. I believe that every accountant is, also your financial analyst, also your financial advisor. So all of these professions have just been elevated. And if I were a carpenter, I see AI, I would just completely go berserk. The services I can bring to my clients, if I were a plumber, completely go berserk.
And the people that are currently programmers and software engineers, I think they're at the cutting edge of understanding intuitively how to communicate with agents using natural language in order to design the best kind of software.
That's right.
So
exactly.
Over time they'll converge, but I think there's still value in getting, I think, learning how to program, like learning what programming languages are, the old kind of programming. What are good practices for programming languages? What are design principles for programming languages for large software systems?
And the reason for that, Lex, and that I was just saying for the audience, I think the goal of specification, the artistry of specification, the goal and the artistry of it, is going to depend on what problem you're trying to solve. When I'm thinking about giving the company strategies and formulating corporate directions and things that we should do, I describe it at a level that is sufficiently specific that people generally understand the direction and it's actionable. It's so specific enough that they can take action on it, but I underspecify it on purpose so that enable 43,000 amazing people to make it even better than I imagined. And so when I'm working with engineers, when I'm working with people, I think about what problem am I trying to solve? Who am I working with? And the level of specification, the level of architecture definition relates to that.
Take a deep breath. The democratization of intelligence is no longer a theoretical concept. It is the current reality. By lowering the barrier to entry, AI is elevating the baseline of human capability across all industries. We are approaching an era where solving highly complex biological, physical, and engineering problems will happen at an unprecedented scale. As we enter this new phase of hyper-productivity, the question isn't whether AI will disrupt your industry, but how quickly you will adapt to leverage it. What specific tasks in your daily workflow are you planning to hand over to an AI agent this year? Drop your strategies in the comments below. Stay analytical, and we will see you in the next breakdown.
The things that we want to solve, there's so many problems we want to solve. There's so many things that we want to build. There's so many good things that we want to do that are now within our reach and within the reach of my lifetime. You just can't possibly not be romantic about that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, what an exciting time to be alive.
Yeah.
Like truly so.
How can you not be romantic about that? The fact that it's a reasonable thing to expect the end of disease. It's a reasonable thing to expect. It's a reasonable thing to expect that pollution will be drastically reduced. It's a reasonable thing to expect that traveling at the speed of light is actually in our future. And then, not for long distances, but short distances, people ask me how, and well, first of all, very soon I'm going to put a humanoid on a spaceship, and it's going to be, my humanoid, and we're going to send it out as soon as possible. And it's going to keep improving and enhancing along the flight. Mm-hmm. And then when it's time, all of my consciousness has already been, so much of my life has been uploaded in the internet. Take all my inbox, take everything that I've done, everything I've said, it's been becoming my AI. And I'm going to, when the time comes, we'll just send that at the speed of light, catch up with my robot.
Oh, that's brilliant. I mean, but for me, that's sort of application focus. But also for me, the curiosity, maxing perspective, all of those mysteries, there's so much fascinating scientific questions there.
Understanding the biological machine is right around the corner. It's not 10 years, it's 5 years probably.
And the neurobiological machine, the human mind, and cracking theoretical physics open. It's so exciting.
Explaining consciousness. That one would be awesome.
And it's all within our reach.
Yeah.
Jensen, thank you so much for everything you've done over the years. Thank you for everything you're doing for the world. Thank you for being who you are. I can tell you're a great human being. And I wish you incredible success this year. I can't wait. As a fan, I can't wait to see what you do next. And hopefully I'll see you in Taiwan. And thank you so much for talking today.
Thank you, Lex. I had a great time. And also, if I could just say one more thing.
Yes.
And thank you for all the interviews that you do. The depth